Hey, friend. Welcome to the Inimitable podcast. I'm your host, Jermaine Harrison. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, mentor, visionary, transitional life coach, and of course, I am a neurospicy black sheep. Inimitable means something that is so unique, it is impossible to duplicate. This pod is for the neurospicy who are building mental wealth without a blueprint. Thank you for coming, and if you're here, it's because God needed you here. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I'll see you soon. Hey world, welcome back. I would say welcome back to my channel. Like this is a channel. Well, maybe if you're watching this on YouTube, this is most definitely a channel. But anyway, I am so excited for today, and my guest was so excited. We were just talking right before we hopped on, and it was like, yeah, this is gonna be good. So, pre-warning, if y'all need to get some tissues, go get you some tissues, get you some water, because this episode, it's gonna be a good one. But anyway, I like to say she got the best smile on this side of heaven, because listen,
thank you.
Look at those dimples. And this is my sis, for real, this is my sis. And all the way from Junction City, Kansas, y'all. That's like my second home. And I only go like once a year, but I'm gonna start going back more because you know what? Y'all my family and we love y'all. Anywho,
we love you.
She is one of 5 lovely daughters of my spiritual dad, Pastor the Bishop, Billy Ocean.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal man. Also known as my daddy.
Yeah, it's your daddy. Cristy, I would say Ocean, but she just got married, y'all. Cristy Calloway.
Calloway.
People. Hey, girl. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be on this podcast. I've never been asked to be on a podcast, and I'm so honored that I'm on your podcast. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Because, girl, listen, you have a story. Now, I only got like a little glimpse of it, like the teensiest of glimpse when we were at the anniversary dinner, and you were just kind of saying stuff when we were talking about you getting married, and I said, I didn't know all of that. And so I said, oh yeah, she need to come on because people need to get released from some stuff. And sometimes we don't release it until we hear it from somebody else. So I said, well, sis, we're going to have to talk about it. So Firm Foundation is what this episode is called, but it's also talking about the strong Black women because, quite frankly, I think that's a huge mental health issue that is not talked about because Black women are expected to be strong. They're expected to carry all of these things. And truth be told, we don't have time to cater to self because we got kids and spouses and work stuff. And it's like,
everything.
So strong Black women, what does that mean to you, Cristy?
Listen, honestly, for me, I feel like it's us carrying everything on our shoulders. Like we are, it's almost like we're doing everything. And if you don't have that village, which I do have that village, but I still sometimes feel like I have to be strong because I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I work, and then I have to come home and still be that strong woman, I feel like it just comes natural to us Black women. Like, okay, if you're not going to help me do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset I think a lot of Black women have now, which is, I feel like sometimes we have no other choice but to be strong. You know what I'm saying? So for us, and I've seen, even though my mom is a married woman, I've watched my mom be that wife and that mother where I've hardly ever seen my mom not cater to everybody in her household. Coming home, dinner was already ready. My dad had food on the table when he got home from work, and she did it all every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom is, to me, the definition of a strong Black woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
So, and I think that's just something, especially when you have children,
Mm-hmm.
and you have and you're a single mom, when you don't have that spouse or that person to share that with, you have no choice but to be strong. It's just in you, because you don't got nobody to fall back on,
right.
but you and your children.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I look at it. I've watched my mom be strong, and through even with her family, just she's the strong one. And I love seeing my mom. Just I admire my mother for our upbringing and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the thing is that it usually is modeled before us, right? My mom obviously was that single mother, and she had two. We're not small people. We are big. Me and my brother are big babies. And so she had to work endlessly, sometimes 2 jobs to take care of us because we were growing out of clothes. And I didn't really eat much, but my brother did because, boys eat, right? And just seeing it, I'm like, wow, I think I've seen my mother cry maybe 3 times, maybe, if that, and it wasn't until my brother passed when I first saw her cry. And I was 20, 25, 24, something like that.
Oh my goodness.
I was in my early 20s, and that's the first time I seen my mom cry. And I wonder, because you were talking about being there for your kids and being there for, your husband, and it just coming natural. It's like, what breaks that from us? What is it going to take for us to be like, you know what? I don't have to be this person. I could be, but I don't have to be her.
I ask myself that quite a bit. I do. And I don't have an answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, and I'm being honest when I say, I don't know what it would take to make, especially, and I have a husband, he's amazing, but it is still so hard to just be like, you know what, I'm about to take this cape off and let babe handle it. I can't do that. I don't know if it's just built in me, or if it's just something that in my previous marriage that made me that way. Like, okay, you know what? I'll handle it. I'll do it. And my husband constantly is telling me, babe, I got you. I can do it. And I still sometimes have to be like, oh God, okay, I'm married. I have a man. I have somebody in my life who can take the reins for a little bit, Yeah. But I think it's been in me for so long. I don't know how to get out of that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're watching this, please do be in the comments, because we love a good comment. Sabrina, hey girl, she said, it's built in, and it's true, right? Like these things, it isn't like we woke up one day, it's like, I want to be a strong Black female. Like, I want to know what it's like to be her, and we gonna do that. Sometimes, like you said, it's like we watched it from our mothers, and then we just embodied it as we continue to grow up. And it's like, there's a danger with that though, right? Like, as much as we love to be like, yeah, I'm strong and I'm independent, I can do it, there's dangers with it, and we don't recognize it. We don't recognize these things that we just carry. And that is a point of mental health conversations and awareness, is because if it's not talked about, it just continues. And I have a client who, she's the epitome of strong Black woman, right? And she said this one thing, and it stuck with me. She said, I didn't know how I was living was abnormal until I encountered other people. And I was like, y'all don't live like this? And I was like, that's deep, because it can be total dysfunction, and you think that's normal,
and
so you just
it's
keep doing
normal because you're doing it day to day, every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the dangers of being a strong Black female? What happens when you don't release and you don't trust enough to give it away? What do you do? What's wrong with that?
A lot. It's built. First of all, for me, it's letting that guard down, letting those walls down. Um, because I've had people ask me, or even tell me, you have such a strong family behind you. You have friends. You have a village. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But then my thing is, I bottle everything inside because I think my friends' issues are deeper than my issues. I don't want to burden them with these issues because when I talk to them about their issues, okay, yeah, theirs is way deeper than mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep building up this wall and building it up, and then I explode. But just because I'm exploding doesn't mean that I'm necessarily releasing anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know how people all say, "Oh my God, that's your breaking point."
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I have come to that breaking point where you'd be like, I just can't. I need help. I have not gotten there yet, and I think that's a danger for me. And I honestly, and I'm gonna tell you this, I'm telling everybody my business. The shower is my best friend because I cry, and then when I cried it out in the shower for like 30 minutes, not 5, not 10, but 30 minutes, I get out shower, clean, and I get dressed, and nobody ever notices that right in there, I just had a moment where I had to release just a little bit because it's still in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you don't have the people to talk to, it's just there. It's in the back of your mind. It's on your mind. It's just building up, but you don't have an outlet to release it. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Cristy, girl, you just said a whole lot, and I tell everyone that being transparent is a part of this, right? It's about sharing your experience so that other people can maybe feel the courage to do the same somewhere down the line. It doesn't have to be today, but somewhere down the line. And something you said that was so impactful is most definitely that we put up walls because walls are necessary, right? They have to protect us, and we got to make sure like our hearts protected and our minds protected and our souls protected. But what we don't realize is those same walls don't let us get to people, right?
Yeah.
We stop people from getting here, but we realize like that means I can't reach you.
Yeah.
I can't get the help that I need because I put up these walls and I needed them for protection. And then you said that you don't release it. And, crying is a good release for sure. But sometimes it's like one of those, like I cried it out, but then I picked it right back up as soon as I
and
let it go.
That's perfect. What you just, yeah. I've cried. I've had boohoo cries, snotty nose cry, but it only works. It only helps for that moment, not forever. It's just for that moment, and it's still back up there. It's still coming back. So it's, girl, stop it now.
No, but it's tough, right? Because it's like, who can I trust with my stuff? And I love what you said about how, you don't want to burden other people, because it is sometimes we feel like I'm burdening them because I know it's heavy for me to carry. I don't want to throw that on somebody else. Like, no, but then we forget that people are assigned to us for a reason, right? Like we can let it go. We can trust people. And it it shouldn't be one of those like, and unfortunately we're a lot like this. We're skeptical of everything. We don't know why you're here, what you're going to do. We're very skeptical of everything, which is why we don't release, right? And that comes from this like inability to trust people. And so I think, you know, another question, if you guys have questions and comments, put them in there. I think another question is, why don't we trust? You know, like even when people, like you said, you have a husband who wants to show up and he's like, babe, please. And you're just like, I hear you, but
yeah. And that is definitely me. I think for me is more so I've shared my sorrow, my sadness. I've shared everything that is going on with me. My biggest fear is that you're gonna judge me, or you're gonna, what am I looking for? Or are you gonna talk about me to other people? And I know that sounds crazy. I know it does, but the stuff that I deal with internally is stuff that I keep near because I don't want anybody to judge me for how I feel about this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? And I have amazing parents. I have some mom sisters. Let me tell you that. I do. But it is harder for me to go to them than it is for them to come to me. Like I can listen, I can share some advice, I can talk to people all day long about their situations that they're dealing with. But then in my mind, who can I be vulnerable with in my time of need, in my time of sadness and hurt and frustration? And again, when people say, but you have a village, you have your mom, I do. And my mom will pray somebody up under, listen, my mom is a praying woman, okay?
And is.
and sometimes my mom will send me a text, and I'll be like, how she know to text me that? And it'd be right on time, mate. It'd be right on time. And then don't like, I'll be going in the bathroom, and one day she texted me at work, girl, I had to go to the bathroom because I had to cry because I'm like, she just texted me this out of nowhere. I didn't talk to my mom about anything that was going on. Showed me a nice little paragraph. I read it and I was like, oh my God, you know, like, but I honestly believe that I don't know. It's just I just don't feel like I'm there to say, you know, since this, I've been dealing with this for X amount of years, X amount of months. I need you to help me, or I need your input, your advice. And I can say that I want to do that, but it's my mind that be like, no, because she's dealing with things on her own. She's already dealing with stuff. She has her own issues that she has to deal with. My issue will be too much for her, and that's always my thought process.
Yeah.
So
it is definitely a trauma response. I don't think what we realize is happening. Like, I'm a visual person, right? So I like to use metaphors when I'm doing what I'm doing, because I think people look at it differently. When we have that mindset of, I don't want to burden other people. Something you said earlier was, I can't freely go to people, but they can come to me, which means I'm carrying my stuff. I got my kids' stuff. I got my husband's stuff. I got my family stuff, and I got my friend's stuff. But I don't want to burden anybody with mine. You know what I mean? It's like we take on so much. Like that song, Bad Lady. We're just carrying everything.
Yep.
And it's dragging us down because we don't know how to release it, and we don't trust that we can release it. And, you know, advice for 20-year-old single mom, you know, obviously we like to preach about like, get you a village. But as Christy's saying, even with the village, it doesn't mean that you're going to release it unto people, right?
Yes.
Unto people. I'm so churchy. Ignore me. Anyway, we got to release it to people. But
Yeah.
like, you have to find people that you are willing to trust with self. And if you don't know who those people are, you really got to take it to God, because they say don't vent to people because vents lead to other rooms. So
Bingo.
you got to
Yeah.
find that one person or two people that you're like, y'all, this is me. This is me. This is my heart. I am exposing it to you and I trust you with it, right? And you don't have to have 17 people that you can trust. All you really need is one.
It's
One or
one.
two.
That's it.
And trust that
That's
they can
really it.
not just carry it, but like maybe it's not about releasing it to a person. Maybe it's about releasing it to God in the presence of another person. You know? So it's like, God, I'm giving it to you. There's a physical person here, but God, this I can't anymore. Like, I don't want to hold on to it. I can't hold on to it anymore. And I believe, and I truly believe that when we say this, God is like, I'm gonna send you somebody. It's like that, it's like that, that story about a guy who's hanging on the side of a cliff. And he's like, God, I'm about to fall. Help me. And then he sends somebody. He's like, yo, you good down there? He's like, yeah, I'm just waiting on God to help me. Bye. Someone else comes by. Yay. You need help? Yes. But I'm waiting for God to do it. And then he dies and goes to heaven. He's like, hello. You didn't save me. He's like, I sent you 3 people.
And you let them go.
You didn't use it. And so now you're here in front of me because I sent you the help that you requested and it didn't go through. Yes. When 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he will be in the midst. Preach, y'all.
Yes.
It's needed. So when I came down there to do Narissa's women, the release, I forgot what it was called, but she had a conference, right? And we were talking about this strong Black woman archetype. And when I brought this one up specifically, there was like 5 ladies in the room who got real emotional. And I was like, okay, we're carrying something, ladies. What are we carrying?
Yeah.
What's up, Cristy? Love, darling. What are we carrying? What is this thing that you're just like, I'm not releasing it? No, I don't care who asks me.
Hurt, pain, dysfunction. My mental, girl, I can name 1,000,001 things. Man, my worth, my just a lot. You know, the way I see myself, like me being a mother, it's a lot of stuff that I'm carrying, and I just don't know how to come out and say, hey, I need somebody, you know. Yeah. You listen, I notice I deal with things silently, which, and I always feel like I have to be strong for my sisters, which they're already strong, but sometimes I feel like when they go through their situation, hey, I'm here. What do you need? You need to, talk. And I love that. I have that with them, to come to me. But I just won't release my stuff on them because it's a lot. And no matter how many times people tell me, oh my God, you're great, you're amazing. Oh my God, you're a great mom. Sometimes I don't always see it that way, you know? And I know I get so much. And sometimes it just gets to the point where I don't know. It's harder for me to just say to them, well, I know you got this going on, but I need a moment to just tell you what's going on with me. And sometimes I don't even be wanting a response. I just want somebody to just listen. And it goes back to, I want them to listen, but then I also don't want to have to make them feel sorry for me or judge me. It goes back to bringing all my issues down on them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And again, me and my sisters are super close. They're they're like my best friends. And my best friend, she tells me all the time, come on back, I'm gonna come over there so we can talk. Okay, you know, good on when you come over here. I'm not gonna talk to you about nothing. We just gonna cry and drink some wine, and then you're gonna go home, and I'm gonna still wallow in my misery because I can't go or the things going on with me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, see now maybe you got me up here crying now.
You a big
So
crybaby anyway, so it
I
was
am.
on.
I told you I was.
But
Yeah,
this is therapeutic, right? Because
yes.
talking about it is one thing. I think the word, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's on my little board above my head.
The
It
red
says
one, I've read it like 6 times. Uh-huh.
give yourself
Yes.
permission. Those are very simple words, but we have to give ourselves permission to heal. We got to give ourselves permission to release, because I look at it like this. If me doing it the same way hasn't worked, that's a definition of insanity, right? So clearly I got to do something different. I have to be so
Yes.
tired of being weighed down and carrying this weight that I'm willing to walk away and be like, if people pity me, they pity me. If
Mhm.
people feel sorry for me, they feel sorry. Like, okay. Like, I
Yep.
think there's certain things that we fear so much that it's literally
Oof.
disabling. And I mean, that's mental health, right? Anxiety is crippling.
Mm.
Depression,
Yes.
it's crippling, because
Yes.
no matter what great things people say to us, by the time it reaches our ears, hits our head and hits our heart, it's a totally different message.
Uh-huh.
Totally different message. Like that game Telephone, when you start with one message and by the time it gets to the end of the line, it's a whole different.
It's a whole nother.
It's the same thing. People can say like, Cristy, you're great and you're beautiful and you're fun, and by the time
Mhm.
those messages reached your head and your heart, it's, I mean, yeah, you all right, girl, but you they don't know. That's why they're able
Yeah.
to say
Yeah.
things they
Yeah.
don't know. But maybe they do
Oof.
know. Maybe they do see us at a
What I
healed.
don't see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was just looking at a PowerPoint thing, and he said my face isn't necessarily for me, it's for other people. I'm not interacting with my face 24/7. Other people
Nope.
are, right?
Yeah.
and so I have to believe some people when they're like they interact with me regularly. They're watching
Mm.
me and they're listening to me. They're encountering me. They're experiencing me. And maybe I'm doing something that they're like, she's so cool. She's so great.
Yeah.
She's so
And
inspiring.
internally, I'm just sitting here like, oh my God, they probably think I'm crazy or something. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's
So
never
we
how I
got
see
some
myself.
unchecked messages that we talk about all the time, or that we hear from people to other strong women. They say, you'll figure it out. You're smart. They'll say, just pray about it. It'll go away. They tell us
Yeah.
to stop being angry, to brush it off, keep it calm.
Yeah.
Or, you shouldn't complain. People would kill to be in your position and kill to
Mhm.
have what you have. And it's like, all right.
If you
Like,
if you knew what I had,
mm,
I don't think.
mm.
Yeah.
Wait, hold
Mm.
on. We're not going to brush past that. Say that again, because say that again.
If you only knew what I had, you'll definitely not say that.
Mm,
Yeah, especially internally, it's not. Yeah, girl, because and I know a lot of it. I was telling somebody one day. I said a lot of my issues I put on myself because I do not. I won't go talk to nobody. And somebody said, "I'm not laughing." somebody said, well, maybe you need to go see a therapist. I said, I don't want to talk to them either because then I don't want them. I don't want to be like vulnerable with them because I don't know a therapist, and I tell, and then I have the nerve to tell people, um, have you talked to like a therapist or thought about counseling? I have the nerve to tell people that when I'm dealing with all the stuff that I'm dealing with inside,
Mm-hmm.
and but I will not take my own advice. I will not take my own advice.
We often
Yeah,
don't.
I know.
You should hear me in sessions. I be on one. I be saying all the good stuff, and I'm like, Jermaine,
Yeah,
let's not
because
pretend
you
like
ain't going.
you. But it happens. We have all of this advice, and we don't give it. So the title of this is
Yeah.
Firm Foundation, which we know Christ is that firm foundation on which we stand. So you said your daddy is a preaching machine, and your mama can pray. I know where she got that from. She got that from
Yeah.
Mother Seymour because
Grandma Seymour. Yes. And and not to
I
mention
said,
her and
Miss
God is
Seymour,
best friends. I don't care what nobody say. Jesus and my mommy is
besties,
best friends. They're besties.
besties. That's why I used to go to Mother Seymour. I'm like, I don't just pray for me because I don't know what you doing, but he hears you. I feel like it just y'all are just this close that he just hears you. So like with that kind of foundation and background, like what role has God played in your life, and do you release stuff to him, or do you kind of give it to him and then you take it back?
I'm almost positive I give it to him and I take it back. And this is me being transparent. I'm being very honest because let me tell you something. I've been in church all my life, okay, and I pray, but I pray for other people's situation. I don't pray to ask God to release me from my situations, or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I pray over my kids, but I don't pray for me, And again, like I said, my mom, I feel like she she is the true definition of a praying mother, And again, I don't lay my burdens at the altar. I don't lay them at the altar like the Bible says, lay your burdens at the altar, or the song, whatever. Um, I don't pray and ask God to, please God, clear my mind, fix my heart, whatever. I don't do that. But I know He knows all, He sees all. I know to read my word. And ma'am, to be honest with you again, I don't stay in my word as I know I should. I know that the Bible, and look, I got a Bible on this tablet. I got a Bible on my phone. I got a Bible on both phones. I don't open it and read it. Not that I don't want to, but sometimes I don't think to just say, you know what, God, or not even like sometimes I don't even go to my dad and say, Dad, I need a scripture. I need help. Like I need a scripture. I need a book, something that'll help me just to understand everything. And the Bible is there for that, for knowledge. And I don't go to God on my own behalf. I go to God on other people's, like, God bless her right now, Lord God, please let her be okay, Lord God, heal her. All this stuff that I'm praying for is for them, never for myself. And I know, like, I want to say October, Rissa had us do a challenge. I think it was Proverbs, and I stuck with it. I read the Bible, and I don't really understand the King James Version of the Bible. And again, I'm 40 years old. My dad's a bishop. I've been in church all my life, but I don't understand that version of the Bible. But she had us do it, and I was excited. I was like, oh my God, I am reading Proverbs. I read all 31 chapters, and I can't even tell you what I got out of it. And again, like I don't go to God on my behalf.
Mm.
Nope. And he blesses me, you know, he blesses my household, blesses my family. I know that is nothing but God.
Yeah.
I know that is him making ways out of no way, But as far as me, like, God, I'm giving this to you. I'm giving this situation to you, and I have not done that.
Yeah.
So,
It's hard. Now, let me be 100% clear, okay? As a Christian, as a therapist, I be struggling too. Like there are times where praying, it's not in there. Reading the word and being like, okay, so I know the Bible can give me something, but I fail to do it.
yeah.
As a minister, like I got titles for days, right? Glory
Mm-hmm.
be to God. This isn't me, this is him. But it's like there are times when releasing it is so hard because it's like, well, then what?
Yeah.
Like some of us are
Yeah.
so accustomed and so numb to being and carrying everything that's become our identity. And some of us can't
Yeah.
release because it's like, if I release it, then what? Who am I? Like,
Yeah.
do I got to start
Yeah.
over? I'm
What
40.
comes
Like, do I
next?
got to start over?
Do I have to, like, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? And that's, sorry, I had a little gnat flying around here. Sorry. But I, girl, listen, 100%, yes. I have all those questions. Like, once this is gone, will there be new issues? Will there be new walls I got to put up? Will there be, like, and it does, like, I pray, but I wish that I can go to God for me, for myself,
Mm.
for my well-being.
Mm.
You know, um, it's it's hard. It is definitely hard for me, but
For a lot of people. Because, truth be told, and this is the reason why I have this platform so that we can be real honest and open about stuff. Going to God is difficult because sometimes we deem ourselves as so unworthy of even being in his presence that we're just like, like he don't already know
yeah,
what we're doing anyway. But some
exactly.
of us are like, I can't go and I can't release this because, like you said, if I release this, I might be susceptible to some other things and I might
Yeah,
go through some new stuff. And the fear and the anxiety we get about these unknowns, it'll keep us bound to where we are.
yes, bingo.
I have this analogy that I tell everybody. You probably heard me say it already, but the elephant and the rope, right? This farmer had a baby elephant, put a rope around its ankle and then tied it to a pole. And for days on end, this baby elephant is trying to get free. And this rope is like causing a lot of rope burn on his ankle to a point where the elephant gave up. And is like, you know what? I'm done. Right. The farmer then comes and cuts the rope. That elephant does not move because the reminder of the pain, even though it's free to go, the reminder of the pain is like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
When
gonna
I
stay
tried
right
it,
here.
yeah, because when I tried it, it was painful. When I
Yeah,
tried it, it didn't work. So
it
now
hurts. Yeah,
I'm just going to stay here.
I'm not even gonna
And
go anywhere. Yeah,
a lot of us are like that. A lot of us are that elephant where when God was like, I set you free, go be free. We're just like, I'd rather not.
I'll just stay here.
Yeah.
I'll just
Like,
stay here, God.
and even though we cry to leave, even though we're just like, God, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, the door is open. Go.
All you have to do is step through.
Yeah.
And be free.
But that fear of the unknown.
The fear of what's going to be on the other side of that door is what's keeping people from moving forward.
Mm-hmm. But what if there's freedom and joy and peace and newness on the other side of that door, Cristy?
I hope that one day I can cross that threshold.
Well, listen, we're gonna get you there because
Yeah.
it's in there, and I love that you're here because I think you are the voice of a lot of women or just people in general, but especially women who have suffered trauma after trauma after trauma and pain after pain after pain, and they're just like, I'm not giving up entirely, but I certainly don't have it for myself. I have it for other people, just not for myself. Because if I start to work on myself, I'm going to see some things I don't want to remind myself that's there. So we're just going to ignore it.
Yeah, and that. Woo, look at you, got me all over the head, baby girl.
It's hard, Cristy. It's hard.
Yeah.
And the point of being in therapy is so that you can have someone who joins the fight with you, right? Who's sitting here like, girl, I'm gonna walk you through it. I'm with you. Or clinicians like me, I do it that way. I'm like, come on. If you in the dirt, let's get dirty. I'm gonna join you. I'm not gonna be the one standing on dry ground, be like, come on, here's a lifeboat. And throw that little life thing out. It's
right.
Like, let's go. Like, come on, let's get out of this because your children are watching.
Yes. Yes.
The babies you work with are watching, and they're just like, she's great.
Yeah.
But I want to know more about who she is.
Yeah. And even being a mom has my motherhood has been was tested one time, and it just like now it's like I pray for my kids a lot more than I did before. Like, and I'm not that they're like that, but I just pray over them. I pray over them quite often. One situation happened with Jasmine, and if I get teary-eyed, please forgive me. There was a situation. It was just so much going on in her life, and as her mom, I saw a couple of red flags before this situation happened, and I am a mom that pays attention. Like I know, like, okay, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Is there something you need to talk about? And Jasmine would just say, no, Mom, I'm okay. And I'd be like, all right, you sure? She's like, yeah, Mom, I'm okay. But I know my child. I can see even a difference in how she would smile and how she would, try to kind of like mask the things that she was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it seemed like every day I was seeing more and more of little things that I was questioning her about it. And I didn't even not like, and I'm like, hey, this is the third time that I've seen you do this, this, and this. I said, hey, we need to have a talk. What's going on? Mm-hmm. And she was cutting herself, okay? Mm-hmm. And when, if I, like a counselor at her school actually called and told me, and at that moment, that was probably one of the worst moments of my life. Because at that point, I said, how did I miss this? Like, and I felt like I failed my child. Listen, maybe that was one of them moments where I said, like, God, how did I not know this? Like I was praying for her. Like, how did I miss this? How did I allow her to go through this and not know, And she just, when I asked her, I said, what is going on here? She said, Mom, it's just too much pressure. My godmom died, and I have to have good grades. I want to make sure you're happy. I don't want to have, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, let's back that up. I had to remind her, hey, you're 13 years old, 12 years old at the time, 12 or 13 at the time. And I'm like, no. I said, listen, and one thing my kids will tell you, I'm big on school, okay? and they know that. And
Mm-hmm.
at that moment, I think we were talking about, she had a grade, and it wasn't even a bad grade. I think it was like a C minus or something. And we talked about it. I said, hey, I got an email. They said you're missing 3 assignments in this class, which is why you have the C minus. And she said that me telling her that meant that I was not happy or proud of her because she had a C. I said, girl, do you know how many C's I had when I was in middle school?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, listen. And I kept trying to reassure her that no, you're 13 years old or 12 years old. You don't need to be burdened with this. Like, I understand, you are beautiful, girl. She was sad about her looks, her being chocolate, it was just so much going on in this 13-year-old mind. Like, she just felt like she didn't need to be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That right there sent me through a whole, and I questioned God. Like, and I know they tell you not to question God, but at that moment I was at a loss. Like, I was at that moment where, well, dang, what do I do now? Like, I've prayed and now she's doing this. I've prayed, and how do I get her out of this? And she did therapy, and I think therapy was probably the best thing that she could ever have done. That it helped her so much. And at that moment, I was like, you know what? I gotta let me take a step back. And then I think I quit my job shortly after that, just so I can be there more for my children. Which I know when I tell people that, they're like, well, how did you take care of this? How did you take care of that? I don't know how I did anything, but I know that I didn't want to. I felt like failure already, so I didn't want to be that parent where I'm already like, I don't want this to ever happen again. Like, how do I avoid this next time? And I remember, I remember my mom said, "Oh no, my baby gonna be okay," and my mom would take her. And then when I started back working, it was like my mom and Erica and Narissa and Charnette. It was like they just came like right then, like they were there when I needed them the most. And they're there for me now. But at that moment, it was like when they say it takes a village to raise a child. At that moment, that rung in my mind for so long, because without my mom, I don't know what would, without that village, I don't know what I would be doing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because she said, Cristy, she gonna be okay. And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I should have seen this. I should have saw this coming. But I saw the sign. I was there when I saw the sign. Okay. I was there, and I talked to her like, hey, is everything okay at school? Are you doing okay? And she'll say, yes, mom. But after that, therapy started, and then she would come to me and be like, mom, she was apologizing to me for making me feel like it was my fault. Because, baby, when I tell you, there was many nights after that, I would just be sitting in the bathroom at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning crying because I felt like this was my fault. Like, this is something I should have been there more for her.
Yeah.
And again, you hear I took my daughter to therapy, and that's something to this day, May, that I struggled with. Because I still think, like, what if I would have lost my child at that moment? Like, what if she's no longer here? Like, I still, like, I think about that so much, and I'm telling you, I said, God, like, I prayed, like, what is going on? Like, how did I not see this coming? So, yeah, I just, whew. So me being a mom is one of the things that I I have, yeah. And I love them. I love my kids. Everybody know I love my babies. I do.
Mm-hmm.
From the 21-year-old all the way down to the 11-year-old, I love my babies. And they know that we talk. It ain't no, we don't sweep it under the rug. It ain't no what's happening in this house stays in this house. Because, baby, if you feel like you can't come talk to me about nothing, you have 3 aunties, you got grandparents that will listen, that will be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because being a mom is a lot. Being a parent in general is a lot.
Yeah.
And that's, sorry, I went on a little rant there. Sorry.
Rant? No, ma'am. You were sharing a moment in time when being strong, and I think what we have to realize is being vulnerable isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of our humanity. And it allows us to acknowledge, like, I'm not supposed to be strong all the time, right? Like, if Jesus Christ himself had a moment, and he is the son of the good God above, if he has a moment, we're going to have moments, right?
Yes.
And the beauty of all of this is, like you're saying, and you consistently say, is you're not in this alone. There will always be a ram in the bush, so to speak, or there's always a village willing to help. And unfortunately, we don't allow them to help, right? And I think the same way that you let them show up for your children, the same way you let them show up in other spaces, you can let them show up for you as well. But it's like a willingness to be vulnerable and open. And that's foreign to a lot of us Black women because we don't do that because it's been abused. It's been misused before. And it's like, I don't know. Some people are real shady, and I get it. I 1,000% get it. But like the sign above me says, you got to give yourself permission because that's where your freedom comes from, is giving yourself permission and be like, you know what? I can't hold on to this anymore. This has to be, I have to release it off of me because then I can be the best mother I can be. Am I going to make mistakes? Absolutely. Then I can be the best wife I can be. Because when we are closed off, that's just not in thought. That's an emotion. That's in life. Like, we have so much love to give, but carrying things doesn't let us fully give it. Right? It's like I know you ain't going to know a lot about me, though. What you know about me is what I let you know, kind of thing.
Exactly. And that is definitely how I do things right now at this. Yeah. You can tell me all day long what you got going on, and I'm only going to tell you about this much after you release this much. It's only going to be that much that I give you. So.
I have a friend who's just like that. She was like, Jermaine, like, I got 2 best friends. They don't know squat about me. I said, then how they your best friends? Like, what are y'all doing? My best friend knows literally almost everything about me. Like, y'all want to know about me? Go find him because he's going to tell you. And it's like, that's insane. Like, I was like, girl, tell me more because my brain isn't calculating. It's misfiring right now. She's like, I mean, we cool and we get along and we have some things in common, but we don't talk about me. We talk about them. We talk about drama. We talk about whatever. No, don't talk about me. I'm not that good of a subject. I'm like, what do you mean? You have stories. And like you said before we hopped on, you can write a book and Miss Ma'am.
Girl,
write that book. Maybe that's your form of release. Letting people heal from your story and telling it in written form. I'm just saying. Anywho, we are approaching the end of this, and like I tell everyone, if this was good, but you want to come back, just let me know. We can get you back on. So one of the final 2 questions I always ask is, this is the Inimitable podcast. Inimitables are people that are so unique. It is impossible to duplicate, right? And inimitable, aka the black sheep, right? And sometimes we don't realize the burden that Black sheep carry because everybody, they do them, and then there's us, and we're like, I'm so misunderstood. And so, what does that mean to you? And then, if you were to leave this episode with any inspiring, encouraging words, what would it be?
A black sheep. Let me see. Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this not to be funny, but I had somebody say a black sheep is just somebody that don't follow the rules. They go to the beat of their own. Like, not saying, like, you know how you have those families, oh my God, they're so great, and then you got that one that be like, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Y'all can do this. That's the black sheep. That's the one that's gonna be like, no, I ain't doing that. Mom, Dad, no, I'm not doing that. No, get what's the word? Get somebody else to do it. That's
yeah, for real.
That's them. They're the ones. They gonna do what their hearts desire, not what somebody else's heart desire. It's what they want to do, not what's built for them. That's my definition of like they gonna do what they want to do.
Do you consider yourself to be a black sheep?
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah.
All right.
I think so. Just a little bit. Not too much.
Aren't you the middle child?
I knew you were going to say that. Yes, I am. We love the Ocean Girls. Y'all are on.com, but I mean, usually the middle ones are the black sheep, unfortunately. I'm just saying. Look.
Because the younger ones, they get the kind of spoiled and whatever. They get the attention. The older ones are like mommy number twos. And then the middle one is just like,
well, I'm just here. I'm the middle child.
Yeah. This is like, who am I? What is my purpose around here? Okay. Encouraging words. What would you like to leave the people with?
This is just for me, and hopefully I can follow this advice for myself. Find somebody that you can be vulnerable with. Find somebody that you can just have that moment with. You know, there's no judgment, just you and this other person, and you have somebody that you can go to and talk and get a lot of stuff off your chest. Whether it be, if you got to go to therapy, go to therapy. Counseling, whatever it is, or if you have a pastor, bishop, a first lady, whoever, find somebody that you can just have that one-on-one with to help you through the things that you're dealing with. So that's my advice. I hope that it reaches somebody like myself.
I'm gonna say like your heart, because it's in there. So Cristy, you know I love you to pieces, girlfriend. Yes. And I thank you for coming on. I thank you for being so transparent and open. And, you know, allowing us to see you and allowing yourself to see you differently and being open and saying, like, you know, I carry this now that I've said it. Now I got to do something about it.
I've been so excited for this all week. I was like, I'm going to be on this podcast. I'm so excited, you know. And this was an amazing experience. And I'm so glad that you asked for me to be on here.
Of course.
This was an amazing experience.
If you want to come back, girl, let me know and we will put it in the schedule. But in the meantime, in between time, next week obviously is Thanksgiving, so we will not be here. I hope you guys have fun with your family. If your family is a little dramatic, hey, it's okay. Take some space.
Enjoy them.
Boundaries. You're going to be all right. Eat your food. Watch some football.
Yep.
Do something great next week. And then we will come back in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I am bringing on
Yes.
my best friend. The one I just
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch that one.
Yeah, well, because he's been on the pod like 2 or 3 other times, and sometimes that's the perks of being a best friend. You just kind of be like, hey, you should come
Get on
back.
here. Come on, get on
And he
here.
gracefully
Hop
agrees
on.
every single time, and I appreciate him for that. So, without that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Feel free to share this with whoever you think needs to see this. Cristy, I love you. Guys, I
I love
appreciate
you
you
too.
watching. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks with my bestie. Darren will be on.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.